You are never too old to be a gay man. Never, nada. Some of us queer people spend decades surviving. Then one day they are told they are too old to start dating. You are too old to start dating, to come out, to travel, to change careers or build a new life. I do not believe that. I don't believe that. I think many people confuse delayed living with expired possibility. Like for me, actually, there's been a lot of people who have come across my page and they think that I'm old. I don't know what being old looks like. They think that I'm not a teenager, that I'm not in my 20s, which means I shouldn't be a homosexual. I am supposed to be somebody's father, yada, 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 as if gay people are not people's fathers. You can be a gay man. You can be in a relationship with a man and be married to a man and have children. I do not understand why they think that if you get to a particular age as a gay man, that means your life has ended. My dear, I don't know who told you that. As I always say, some people say, actually not me, delay is not denial. There is no timeline for you to begin your life. There is no timeline on when success should happen. Your timeline is your timeline. Our journeys are totally different. Whenever it starts for you, it starts for you. And this is the reason why a lot of people have problems with aging, because people are constantly shaming you for being older or being old. And then the same people who will pray for some of these things will be praying for prosperity and power, for long life and prosperity and things like this. If you want to have a long life, does it mean you are going to be a child forever? We all are going to get old. And especially for gay people, for queer people, it's always a massive problem for us because people are constantly saying to you, especially African people do this when it comes to homosexuality. Oh, you're supposed to be somebody's father. Why are you on the internet doing this? Yada, yada, yada. My dear, that is your problem. Anyway, welcome back. My name is Charles Okeke. This is Igbo Queer and Unfiltered podcast. Hope you are doing good. Hope you are wonderful. I'm living my life. I am trying. I'm doing my best. That's what I'm doing. And I hope you're doing the same. I always say to myself, so far as I try and I'm trying and I'm trying, I will continue to try. Okay? I really want to challenge a belief that quietly harms a lot of queer people. The idea that there is a correct timeline for becoming yourself. Many people didn't spend their 20s freely exploring identity. And this is something that happens across so many cultures, especially if you are from Africa. I remember saying this to a friend of mine that when I was at school, I was not able to tell my friends that I was crushing on a boy because it's not something that is allowed. You are not able to express the things that you like. And that can be a massive problem for a lot of us queer people, especially if you are a queer person from Africa and things like this. You are living your 20s, your teenage life, not being able to express yourself and explore your identity. Because the truth of the matter is that we were all surviving family pressure, religion, shame, secrecy, finances, and fear. And a lot of the times we don't really talk about these things in the way it should be talked about. Majority of queer African people begin to explore their sexuality and live openly when they live a harmful environment. That is why I got the message from my brother when he said that I went to the UK to learn how to be a homosexual. Meanwhile, this is somebody that grew up in the same house as me. How you did not know that I'm gay is wild to me. But that's another story altogether. Because my cousin was like, knowing you, this is not a surprise to me. Denial can be a massive problem. And I want to make this extremely clear. A delayed start in life is not a failed life. You haven't failed. Delay is not denial. You can start your life whenever it is right for you. And I have said this before, that I said that one of my regrets as well was not coming out immediately. I moved to the United Kingdom. I was in a mental cage, literally. I was struggling mentally in the sense that I wasn't able to live my life the way I wanted. I was just not able to be free mentally to live my life. Despite the fact that I was in a place where I can just be free and live my life, I was still responding emotionally. Maybe my nervous system was still saying to myself that I'm in Nigeria. My family will do this and do that and do that. And at the same time, I was really seeking for validation from my brother and acceptance and approval. And he never gave that to me up until today. Of course, I went ahead to live my life, but I was expecting him to say that it is okay. I was expecting him to say that you can live your life with no judgment. And I forgot totally that I had agency, that I have agency. I forgot totally to be free mentally. Yeah, that's the word I was trying to use. I wasn't free mentally. I felt like I was imprisoned mentally. I wasn't able to just live my life without any care. And another thing is, when you are the last child as well, and you have siblings that are a lot older than you, this can happen to you. I'm not using this as an excuse. This may not apply to everybody, but that happened to me. And it was so horrible. I remember I have shared this here. I went to this gay sauna in Manchester on Ducey Street. At the time, it's still there. I went there with a man I had met. Like, we met on Gaydar and we were chatting. So we went there together. And I came out of the gay sauna. I was so panicky. I had a panic attack. I was thinking people are going to know that I'm gay. My brother is going to know. At the same time, I had excitement that I'm free to do whatever I want to do. It was crazy. And this is something I don't wish to happen to anybody because it's not a good situation. I know I went on a tangent there, but it needs to be said. The myth of the gay timeline is crazy. There is enormous pressure to hit milestones early. This is not just even for gay people, just in life generally. People want to be able to get to a particular stage in their life. I want to be doing this when I'm 30. I want to be rich when I'm 40. There's this enormous pressure to do that. And this does not only happen in life generally. It happens that you should come out by a certain age, have relationship experience by a certain age, know your identity by a certain age, have a curated social life by a certain age. Social media makes everything and everybody's life into one feed that makes you living your normal life look like it is late. What I'm saying here is that when you go on social media and you see people doing things and everybody is living their lives, maybe that person is gay and 25 and they have it all figured out because some of these things are curated, and you see that they are living their lives. They are showing all of these things. I have done this at 20, at 30. I'm successful. I came out at so and so. All of these things is perfect. And because of a lot of these things happen like this, people will begin to think that their life is late, that coming out at 50 is wrong, that not becoming a millionaire at 20 is wrong, that not living your life the way you're supposed to live your life as a gay person at a particular age is wrong. People can find themselves and come out at 70, at 90, at 80, whenever they want. And you don't even need to come out at all. Your timeline is your timeline. Nobody is too old for anything. People go to university at 50, at 60. People graduate at 80. You can do whatever you want to do at any particular age. There is no timeline. And this whole thing about that you are too old to be gay, you are supposed to be someone's daddy, someone's mommy. Why are you a lesbian? There are people that are 100 years old that are gay, that are lesbians. Gay people have always been here. There is no age to this thing. There is no age to being a homosexual. There is no age to being a lesbian. I don't understand why people feel like if you are 70, if you are 90, that you should not be gay anymore. I do not understand this. And the same people who will say these things will be praying to get older. It is crazy to me. The timeline many queer people are compared against is often built by people who had more safety, freedom, and support. I'm just saying. And if you look at in the gay community as well, sometimes when you are of a particular age, people will be, oh, you're too old. You're too old. You're too old. What is that? Ageism is such a massive problem in all aspects of life. It's the same thing they do to women. They will be like, you are too old to wear that dress. You are too old to dress like that. Why are you dressing like that? You're supposed to be someone's mother. Who gave you that? Who gave you that book, that rule book to say that people should not live their life, should not do certain things because of they are so and so? I live by the rule that I will do whatever I want to do as far as is within reason and I'm not disrespecting anybody. I will continue to dress how I want to dress, no matter what age I am. What makes me happy, and that should be the same for everybody. You should live your life regardless of your age. Whether you are 70, 80, 90, whatever, just live your life. Do what brings you joy. This whole thing is just crazy to me. I see this happen to women a lot, where they'll be like, you're somebody's mother. You shouldn't be sexy. You shouldn't dress like this. That's not age appropriate. Blah, 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 blah. What is that? Ignore all of these things and live your life. Late bloomers are not failures. I want to make this clear. Just because of you started out late, that things happens for you later in life is not a failure. My auntie Bevi Smith says it. If you know who Bevi Smith is, she's a vibe. It gets greater later. She says this all the freaking time. I think she trademarked this as well. It gets greater later. Doing things late in life doesn't mean you have failed. Even in Igbo language, some people say it, they say it in Igbo language, it's an idiom, I think. What it means in direct translation is that late life is better, is greater, is wonderful. Everybody's not going to have their life all figured out in their 20s, in their 30s. Some people have it all figured out later on in their life, and that is okay. That is absolutely fine. Coming out at 40, 50, or 60 is not evidence that you missed in life, that you missed life. It is evidence that life was complicated. Some people couldn't risk visibility earlier. It's just a fact. I don't know why people do not understand this. Some people get married. Some people were in conservative communities. Some people simply didn't have the language for themselves. I'm going to tell you this. I know a few Nigerian gay people who don't even know the meaning of LGBTQIA+. They are gay people, they are attracted to men, and they don't know the meaning of this. That doesn't mean that person is not gay. And this can happen in a situation where if someone doesn't know and they are seeking refuge in a country where their life can be safety, because they don't know this, they may be denied that. This is a fact. This is nothing new. This happens. Some people are late in all of these things, despite the fact that they are attracted to men and they've been sleeping with men. They may not have the language. I have done a lot of teachings when it comes to this. Not having the language doesn't mean that person is not queer. That doesn't mean that person is not part of the community. That can happen. Education in so many ways can affect how people see things. I'm not talking about Western education here. I'm not talking about you going to university. That just means education in life and having awareness and knowing and having a language for things. Because sometimes people do not really have the language, and we should be respectful of this. People who start dating seriously for the first time later in life, this is very common, especially in the African diaspora community. People who move cities after decades in one environment to be able to live their lives. For me, I left Nigeria, but I left Nigeria really, really young as well. Not like I was a teenager, but I was close to that. Like, that happens. People who reconnect with their bodies, style, sexuality, or creativity after years of suppression. I know someone who is going through this right now, and I'm speaking to them because they've gone through years of not being able to do anything, and all of a sudden now they are reconnecting with their bodies, their style, their sexuality, creativity, and things like this because they've been suppressed for so many years. And I'm just going to say this. A lot of us queer people from Africa go through years of this, and then you leave Nigeria, you leave Africa, you move to the UK, America, Spain, Germany, Australia, wherever, Canada. All of a sudden you are free. You are now being able to express yourself. I remember when we were in Manchester City Center with some friends, and all of us, we were walking around, and I saw some of these Nigerian women because some of my people were just being themselves. And these Nigerian women were just in the corner watching them as if they are in Alaba Market in Lagos because they haven't seen anyone who is like them expressing themselves like this. And it was shocked for them. Well, I know these women were just new in the UK. If they weren't new in the UK, they wouldn't be looking at us like that. But I'm just saying, I want to make this clear. Starting late is still starting because there's no timeline. Whenever you wake up and start doing the things, you are doing the things. I want you to know that there is no timeline. You can start whenever it is right for you. Even with coming out, you can come out when it is right for you. And you don't even have to come out at all if it is not right for you. So far as you are okay with who you are and you are at peace with yourself. Ageism in the gay community is something that needs to be talked about because it is something that is wild. We also need to be honest about ageism within the queer culture. Youth is often treated as social capital. Apps, nightlife, and online culture can make older gay men feel invisible. Visibility is not the same thing as value. I know a few men, some of them are married to women that are extremely older, and they are in denial, but they want to sleep with men. They sleep with men. And I have gay men who are with other gay men that are older. And sometimes when they are single and older, they feel invisible. They feel like nobody cares. They feel like, oh, I'm getting old now. Nobody's going to be interested because there's a lot of ageism. And sometimes it can happen with men, maybe because of they like a younger guy or something. But being old means you've lived, means you have wisdom, means you have experience. You've experienced life. It can be full of ups and downs for you. You have gone through life and you have a lot of value and you have a lot of things to bring to the table because what maturity often brings is that it brings better boundaries, clearer self-knowledge, financial stability in some cases, less tolerance of chaos, more intentional relationships, and things like that. And those things are something to be proud of. The gay community talks a lot about authenticity. Authenticity gets easier when you stop performing you. And I feel like a lot of us queer people need to be authentically who we are. And we preach a lot of authenticity, but I think we don't practice it. We don't practice it. Someone who is 19 today is going to be 80 one day if you live long to get to that age. Getting older is a privilege because a lot of people don't get to be older. So there is no shame in that. But what is the problem is that society sells youthfulness to you. Being youthful, being young is sold to you. And people get really, really ashamed when they get older. That is why we do a lot of things to ourselves. We want to look good, blah, blah, blah. I get that. Vanity can be wonderful if you use it the right way. But we are all going to age. And not being ashamed of getting older is a massive blessing. For someone like me, I don't really care getting older. I want to be healthy. I want to be fine. I want to not be sick. That is what you should be praying for. To get older and be healthy and have all your faculties and your sense of belonging intact. Because if you have all of those, you will feel wonderful. There's a lot of older men I see that I look at, I'm like, you are my future. You are my future when I look at them. There's a particular older guy I know. Anytime I look at him, anytime I speak to him, I just say to myself, this is my future. I want to be able to be like this when I get to this age because he looks amazing. He acts his age. He dresses really, really well. He speaks really well. He's well-mannered. He's respectful. He treats people kindly. He's just amazing and sexy at the same time. Of course, I'm not going to date him because he's old enough to be my dad, but I'm just saying there are older people that are wonderful. Older people are wonderful, and you should embrace that and not disrespect that. It just feels like when you get older, reinvention is not allowed. I don't know. Am I wrong in saying this? It just feels like when you get older, when you are in your 60s, 70s, is you are not allowed to reinvent yourself. People reinvent themselves at every age. New career, new city, new relationship, new style, new faith, new politics, new body confidence. You are allowed to do that. What makes you think just because of someone is older, getting old does not mean your life has ended? Actually, from what I have read and listened to some older people say, it actually gets better at that age because you know everything about yourself. You know your boundaries. You know the things you don't want to take. You're not ready to take nonsense. You know what you like and what you don't like. My dear, we should respect ourselves. Reinvention is not evidence that your earlier life was fake. Changing. Human keeps changing. We keep changing. Change is one of the most constant things in nature. So what makes you think that someone that is old is not allowed to change, to reinvent themselves, to do the things? What makes you think that? I do not understand. Your future is not limited by the age, at the age which you became visible. My dear, me 20 years ago was not me today. The me you knew 20 years ago is not the me you're seeing today because I evolve, I change, I grow. I bring new things into my life. I develop. I acquire new knowledge. I learn every day. I try every day to develop myself, to bring new things into my life, things that will enrich my life. We are allowed to reinvent ourselves, to change, to grow, to do everything wonderful about ourselves. Just saying. And I want all of us to know this. Joy has no age limit. You can be joyful at any age. I am saying this because people think that if you get to a particular age, you should be old and grumpy and miserable. Absolutely not. Travel is not age restricted. Fashion is not age restricted. Dating is not age restricted. Friendship is not age restricted. Desire is not age restricted. Where joy is not age restricted. One of the saddest lies people internalize is, I'm too old to start enjoying my life now. No, you are just older than you were yesterday. That's something different. Maturity can be a resource. not a disqualification. My dear, enjoy your life. Enjoy your freaking life because you are amazing. No matter how old you are, you just have to believe in yourself, accept who you are, and live your life accordingly and do all the amazing things. I swear, I always get really, really like annoyed with some people I know when they start saying, oh, I'm too old, nobody's going to care, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, everyone in this life has someone for them. I'm telling you, everyone, no matter who you are, you have someone that is interested in you, that likes you, and all of the things. If you came out later, you are not behind. If you are dating later, you are not an anomaly. You don't have any defects. There is nothing wrong with you. If you are rebuilding your life after years of secrecy, you are not starting from zero. You are starting from experience. Let me ask you this question. What would you do if you stopped treating your age as evidence against your future? What would you do? Because your age shouldn't be a problem. Your age shouldn't be something that will stop you from living your amazing future life because it's always going to be amazing. So I need you to think of that. I need to think of that. And I will leave you with this. Life does not expire when you get older. It does not expire. And for us square people, for many of us square people, the most authentic chapter of our lives begins after the years spent surviving. I want you to understand that you should not mistake delayed experience, your delayed way of life for a missed possibility, because you did not miss anything. You just had a time in your life where you weren't able to live your life authentically. So you need to start doing that now. You need to be open-minded to reinvention. You need to try as much as possible to stay curious about who you are becoming. And remember, your story is not finished because you are older. Because a lot of people think that their story will end once they get to a particular age. No, it doesn't. Your life starts now. Your life is amazing. You can reinvent yourself at any age. If you are in a relationship that is not serving you and you are older, and you think because if I'm older, if I leave this relationship, nobody's going to look at me. That is a lie. You can leave any situation that is not serving you at any age and live your life wonderfully. Thank you so much for being here. This has been Igbo Queer and Unfiltered podcast. My name is Charles Okeke. Thank you so much for joining the movement for visibility, truth, and representation. I want to let you know that you are amazing, you are wonderful, you are fabulous, you are the light, you are put into this world for a reason. Live your life authentically, fabulously, wonderfully, because you are everything great. Love will always lead the way because you are love. Love is love. Have a wonderful time. I will see you in the next episode.